Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of YOML. This is the Year of Magical Learning. We are on Reflection 202, and today I think it's a hot zone, right?
Yeah. It's, I
Hot
mean,
zone is the book.
I don't know if it's
I
off
don't know
topic,
what hot
but yeah,
zone. I'm assuming it's an off track kind of book.
it was an interesting book. The book's called Hot Zone, and it's about the true story of it's Hot Zone, a terrifyingly true story. It's about Ebola and the origins of the Ebola virus. It's a really dramatic story around Ebola that actually came to America. We had an outbreak on our hands in the States back in, I think it was the 70s. Ebola had come through monkeys and into these monkey testing center things. So they would house monkeys in and like Ebola got there. And luckily for us, it was the Ebola virus that doesn't spread as virally as the ones that was back in Africa. So we got like a little different variation of Ebola, and this outbreak,
We get the little brother.
kind of, and it never was able to transfer from monkeys to humans, like because it was like a tiny mutation in this Ebola virus or whatever that allowed that to not happen, and it didn't cause this massive outbreak in the nation's capitals, where it was in DC. So it was called the hot zone because it's about, when you're in a hot zone with virus that's like a hot virus. It was just a story about how close we've come many times and how close we always are to massive calamity. Like, it was a pretty terrifying story, to be honest with you. This is another one of those books that I got from Brooke from the Anti-Book Club. I'm glad I read it. It was interesting. I ended up reading another book just a month ago. It's called A Very, Very, Very Dreadful, and it was about the influenza pandemic of 1918 as well. So I feel like I'm getting pretty well versed on viral outbreaks. Plus, we lived through COVID, so we saw all that, right? But no, no joke. It's pretty terrifying stuff, but at the same time, it's okay. I'll be all right. So the reflection title is A Chance Favors a Prepared Mind. So yeah, I was just, first started talking about Ebola in this one. And I mean, I don't know if do you know anything about Ebola and how it, what it does? And,
No, not a clue.
it's like, it melts you from the inside out, and you just start bleeding out of every orifice of your body, and you just die. Like, it melts your insides. And the thing that I've learned about viruses is they're kind of interesting. They want to mutate and evolve so they can get you just sick enough so you can be contagious enough and still survive, because if you die, then they die, right? So Ebola is probably a virus that hasn't really fully figured out exactly how I can transmit and the exact right kind of mutations yet to be able to survive. COVID is a perfect example. I mean, you've seen it mutate multiple times, and it gets a little bit less effective each time, because that's the whole point. It wants to survive. It's a virus, and it's still a living entity as well. It's life, and it's trying to survive, right? So the mutations are totally normal, and we're just like, with things like COVID or things like flu or even things like Ebola, viruses and stuff like that, where eventually they're going to mutate to the point in time where they can be transmissible, because they want that's what they're there for. So Ebola's crazy because it's like an 80% death sentence. So it's not, Ebola's kind of doesn't do his job well as a virus. It just kills you, and then it doesn't allow it to be transferred via anything other than touching of and getting it into your bloodstream and things like that. So it's not like viral, it's not like respiratory or anything like that where you can breathe it in the air. So anyway, this is kind of what I've learned about viruses. Long story short, it'll mutate and it'll happen eventually where somebody gets a form of Ebola. I'm assuming that is probably sustainable for it to survive, even though it'll probably be pretty bad. So it's got to get just to the perfect point of I don't want to kill you as a human, but I also want to make sure that I get contagious enough to get to everybody, hopefully. That said, as I was writing this reflection, I happened to be in Chicago. This is back when I worked at Salesforce, and I was in the Salesforce Tower in Chicago. I was there for some conference, and I was just doing some work in the middle of the afternoon. And so I'm looking out one of the skyscraper windows down at the city. Everything looks so peaceful. Everything looks so nice. It's so planned out. When you look at these big cities, right? Everything looks so planned out. Skyscrapers and tunnels, canyons of skyscrapers you can go down. There's food wherever you want to get food at. The people are moving around in the city in an orderly fashion. And then I'm just finished reading a book about how close we are to just pure chaos, and how much Mother Nature can just really fuck us up if she wants to. Feeling as I was sitting there reading, or typing this, and while I was looking out there, and I was like, everything just looks so nice and calm. But I could easily imagine this just all being chaos out there too, because it's we do a good job of hiding the chaos. And it made me feel a little better about this whole thing, because I was yeah, we're all one weird day away from a catastrophe or a calamity happening. But personally, I feel like, God gave us the ability to, I don't know, fight back a little bit. Like, I know we can't really beat Mother Nature, and I know we'll never beat Mother Nature, but for some weird ass reason, we have the ability to learn and adapt and grow. And like, that's one of humanity's best strengths. So we probably won't survive forever. I can probably guarantee that we won't survive forever as a race or as a species. I think we'll probably fight harder and longer and better than anybody else until the ultimate extinction event happens for humanity. But in the meantime, I think we got a pretty good fighting chance. And I kind of like the fact that we are such a unique species and the ability for us to fight and fight back against some of this shit. Look what we've done against COVID. It's pretty bad, and it could have been way worse. And, we'll learn from it and we'll continue to, like, hell, when I read that book about the influenza epidemic or pandemic, it was pretty similar to COVID, and we did way better this time than we did last time, and we'll probably do better again the next time. That's kind of just how humanity rolls, right? As long as one of us or two of us are still around to survive, we'll figure something out, because we're pretty smart like that. So the reflection title of The Chance Favors a Prepared Mind. This was one of the sayings that one of the generals that was managing the outbreak, said, and it really just kind of struck me as like, that's true. Like, Mother Nature is always going to have an upper hand, but like, I mean, we might get lucky every once in a while, but we get lucky because we're prepared and we think things through and we try our best to do our best. So I don't know. That wasn't the best reflection ever, but it was interesting. It was just thought, I guess. Love to get your thoughts.
So I think this is a little bit odd of a reflection from this book, because a few questions comes to mind when you are talking through your reflection. Is the first question is, what's the purpose of Ebola? What's its purpose?
To spread.
What is it, and why does it need to survive? Why does it want to survive? And does it know that it needs to survive?
It's a life form, and it wants to exist. That's why viruses. That's why
the thing that kind of confuses me is how a lot of people personify like the virus, like COVID or a virus or a bacteria, that hey, it wants to do this, it wants to do that, it's smart enough to not kill you, keep you alive long enough. I mean, to me, it's logically, I just don't follow how that can be done from that entity's perspective.
The virus?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it does. It's yeah. I mean, that's just what it does. Like, that's how. It's not an organism that has like, gosh, I'm not like a virologist, but I mean, I'll take my best guess, my best stab at this. It's like a virus is like DNA or RNA, I think, wrapped up in like some protein or whatever. So
they have an RNA and you have a protein. That protein is not thinking that, hey, I'm going to kill this person, but I'm going to knock him just barely before he dies, so that I can enjoy the fruits of my labor.
No. They don't want to kill the host. Like COVID doesn't want to kill. Like COVID doesn't kill us. Like,
but that's what I'm saying is, when you say COVID or when you say Ebola, when you say some of these things, doesn't want to kill us. I mean, you personifying this thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a living thing. I mean, it learns, it evolves, it adapts, just same as us. I mean, but I don't know why. I feel like I'm more confident in us, and there's probably no justification for it. Hell, viruses may be smarter than we are, for all I know.
How do you make that call? Is that viruses is smarter? In what regards that it is smarter, and what regard that we are smarter? What are we? Are we testing ourselves on something? Hey, emotional intelligence, informational. What is it that we comparing this thing to us? We're smarter than them. We can beat them, or they can. So to me, it's.
I don't want to say we're smarter than anybody. I value what we bring to the table. Like, I enjoy the fact that the humans are who we are. Because we are who we are, we're always going to have a fighting chance. I'm not saying that we're always going to win. I'm just saying we have a fighting chance, at least, until we don't,
And so another question comes to mind is, these viruses, right? You're talking about billions of them. Are they working unisonly to gang up on us, on ourselves, and destroy ourselves from within? I mean, are they the ultimate organizations of this work?
They just evolve rapidly when they learn. I don't know how. It's not like a single being or something like that. I don't know how they evolve, or like I know why they evolve. They evolve because they want to pass their. They want to keep passing themselves from human to human and exist, right? Like, I mean, because like COVID is going to be here for forever. Like, I mean, it's not going away. COVID found a way to live within the human race and to be spread. It's not killing more people than it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it will always have humans to replicate now and spread through. So, like, it did its job. Like, influenza did its job. Like, we have a flu shot every year because it always exists. It doesn't go away.
So let me ask you then, do you think fire is alive and it's like this viruses that wants to continue to burn?
Great question.
And this fire is smarter than us.
I mean, look at a wildfire spread through,
That's what I'm saying is because it's a wildfire, right? It want to catch on and spread to other things so that it can survive and can get, so it doesn't want to die out. So in that sense, fire is we personify fire as we personify these viruses, because viruses, as far as you and I are concerned, it's just basically a strand of RNA and some proteins. And so fire is just oxygen and some kind of a combustion, right?
Right.
That's all it is composed of in a nutshell. Does fire has the intelligence to say, I need to catch on, I need to go this way, I need to go left, I need to go right, because there's more for me to burn on this side versus the other side, right?
Oh, for sure.
My question is that a decisions that a fire made?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't know the answer. I can tell you that once fire burns through the entire forest and it doesn't have anywhere else to go, then it goes away. So it's similar to the virus in that regard. Like, if it just killed every human, like it would.
But fire doesn't want to die. They don't want to kill everything. It's just going to leave something for the time being so that it can pass on. Because
but then again, we need fires. Like, forest fires are natural, and because it helps to clear the forest, it helps bring new growth. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it all goes together. It's all an ecosystem, and that's why I'm saying, I personally, like, it's scary as hell to hear stories like this, because it makes you go, oh shit, like, we are this close on any given day from the whole thing just blowing up. But the point is, who cares? We know that we're this close. This is more reason for me to say, well, I mean, Ebola, there could be an Ebola outbreak, I don't know, that's down the street right now, for all I know, and it could be here tomorrow. So what am I going to do about that? Knowing that knowledge exists now, what am I going to do about that? Well, it's the same thing that we always talk about. Live your values today. Like, that's what you do. Like, that's like, because it could always happen. Like, whether your cells are mutating inside of you right now and you have cancer, or whether you have, Ebola is down the street, there's something out there that's going to get you eventually.
But the thing is, for me, it's kind of like an odd reflection, because I'm struggling to tie this back to what we're talking about and to what we as a company members, company organization are trying to advocate. So I'm just trying to understand how, kind of make some kind of link between these two. And that's why the question comes about, I don't understand how these things has the sentient, for lack of a better word, to want to do something. Right.
So I'm going to let you in on a secret on this particular reflection. I vividly remember this reflection because I was in the offices in Salesforce, and I think it was the end of the quarter or two. So there was a lot of people in the office, which was rare after COVID. Like, every time that I would go into the office, whether in Indianapolis or in Chicago, Atlanta, or wherever the hell I was at in New York, there was usually never anybody in the office for the most part. But at the end of months and end of quarters, especially at the end of the quarters, there'd be a lot of people there. I happened to be in town at the end of a quarter for a conference, so there was a lot of people in town. There's a lot of people in the office. And I was really struggling to focus on this one because I was writing in an environment where there's people all around me. It's hard to focus when that's happening. I felt a little weird because that was the first time and only time that I ever wrote a reflection in the Salesforce offices. And the only reason I wrote it was because I had a meeting I had to go to later in the day, and I had to get my run in really early in the morning, and then I had a meeting like right after that I had to get to because of this conference, and it was something with a customer. And anyway, long story short, the only time I had time to write that day was like in the middle of the day while I was at the office, killing like 3 hours between like the next thing to the next thing. So I was like, well, shit, while I'm here, like, I might as well just like write my reflection for the day. So I was writing this thing. I was struggling the entire time. I was distracted.
As far as reflection is concerned, I don't have anything against the reflection. I just want to understand.
No, I was struggling to connect it, is what I'm trying to get at. I wrote this thing. It took me like 2.5 hours to write this thing, and I could not connect the dots in my own head. I know what I kind of want to write about, but I was like, I can't connect the dots. Like on this particular reflection, I just remember vividly going.
That's why I say this book is an art. It's an
Right.
art one from the start, because I think these things are not really aligning with what we think and know and how we navigate this quest of ours, this life's quest, right? When we say life's quest, I mean everybody has a life quest, whether they want to or not.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is I'm trying to understand where this Ebola virus is, or the COVID has any kind of sentient to want to do this or the other. But if we don't understand, that's fine. Let's move on to the next question is, when you say Mother Nature always going to have upper hand in our fight for survival, the question here is, I don't think that's the case though. I think because what's the purpose of Mother Nature?
To test us, I think. I mean, personally, to test us.
Well, the purpose of Mother Nature isn't to kill us, is it? Because you're talking about it's our fight for survival against nature, right? And so to me, the thought comes is like, I think if we take Mother Nature and we butt our head against Mother Nature, then we will fall, right? Just like gravity, right? Gravity is like, if you don't fight gravity, nothing happens to you. It's only when you go and you go into like a 10-story building and you trying to jump down, and gravity by its law, Mother Nature's law, say, hey, look, this is a law I've been conditioned to hold for eons. You jump, and without anything, well, you're gonna fall to the ground, and then you're gonna smash your organs, and your organs get split up to pieces, right? And you say, hey, Mother Nature always wins against our survival. You survive in this case. Your survival is you doing things that you're not supposed to do. So to me, tying back to what we're saying is, you have to do things that you're supposed to do. Then you wouldn't have to struggle against Mother Nature, because
sometimes it's just you can't control it. Like, I mean, sometimes it just is what it is, Like, and I hate saying that, but it's like sometimes Ebola gets you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's. Like, Ebola's trying to live too, like the forest is trying to exist too. Everybody's trying to exist and trying to, move on. So while I don't think that Mother Nature is strategically targeting anybody,
Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does. It doesn't target you. It doesn't want to kill you. It just say, hey, these are my conditions.
Right.
If you don't align with the conditions, you're going to have a hard time, or you get killed. Because if you created, let's say, for example, we cut all the trees down, what do you think happens to the atmosphere?
I mean, I guess it can absorb the carbon dioxide as well, but I mean,
it's gonna become very hot. You will get, and so the atmosphere is gonna get hot, right? And then you will die because you're not used to it. So Mother Nature isn't out there to say, hey, I'm gonna kill you. I mean, if Mother Nature, hey, my job is to kill you, Mother Nature can kill you right now, like boom, and kill you right now, right? It can say, hey, I'm going to take away all the trees, and I'm going to put a sun on you for like 24/7. You will die, because if you have the sun 24/7, the temperature continues to rise. It doesn't. I mean, you imagine, like, where does wind come from?
I don't know.
Who created the wind? Who created the winds?
I don't know, actually. Where does wind come from? Is it from the Earth? Is it from the Earth spinning? I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Hot air go to cool places. So you imagine
that's where wind comes from.
Imagine the Earth, right? The sun is gonna heat up certain spot. It's gonna make it hot. There's a shade in a tree, right? That has 20-degree cooler. The hot air is gonna flow, and then when it flow, it's gonna cascade. That's how wind is made. That's how I know. I mean, the way that I think the wind works is not because somebody created wind or the ocean created wind. Wind comes from hot air and cold air. The property of hot air is that when it sees cold air, right, cold zone, it's going to flow to that. And how do you create cool zone? The sun is at one place, right, and the Earth is moving. When it moves, it's going to rotate, and so different part of the Earth going to have different temperature, and then some will cool, and then trees will create some shade, and under the tree, the shade, we create a pocket of cool area, and that's where the hot air will flow, and when it flows, it exchanges these heat molecules. So that's how wind in my mind, because like I say, I've never studied wind.
I
But
mean,
to me,
says
because the
the
thing is, I keep
right.
asking people, everyone I've asked, where does wind come from? Who knows?
Right. I don't know. I mean, per this article, I have a bit better idea. It's the sun heating up the equator, and
Exactly.
the heat rises, and
It's about the differences in
right,
the hot air and in the cold air, right?
right.
That's the thing that makes wind. Otherwise, there's no wind. So basically, if Mother Nature cuts down all the trees, right, and
Yep.
even if the Earth spins, right, it's still gonna be heat. There's no wind,
Right.
right? Because
Yeah.
right, because it's a glass ball, no wind. There's no shade. So you think about it, if Mother Nature wanted to kill you, she can kill you, right?
For sure. I mean, I realize that this reflection is is a moot point too, because we're all one stupid day away from a mass extinction event as well, and then new life comes, right? And that's fine. Like, I mean, I don't know what I was trying to say on this one, but I
Okay.
do know that
So I'm gonna
right.
pick
Yeah.
at your reflection just a little bit because you
Yeah.
say chance favors the prepared mind. I think that's hogwash. I'm sorry, but whoever says that is hogwash. And it's not because I disagree completely. I think it's on a technical level. I think chance are just chance. It doesn't favor anyone. It goes to you, it goes to me by random chance. If you think about chance favor the prepared mind, you're going to contradict the black swan. You contradict the bunch of other things that we truly believe in. Chance does not favor a prepared mind. It does not, because chance is random.
I don't disagree.
What favors is that if you prepare, you're able to capture the opportunity, whether good or bad, when the chance comes. So you have to separate the two.
Right.
Chance does not favors anyone. The outcome favors the prepared mind, because when you prepare to act on,
If you survive.
well, to act on a chance can be good,
Right. If you
right?
survive.
But let's say chance favor prepared mind. If you have no fucking idea how to handle some of these viruses, right? Well, you die, right? So, but chance favors the not chance favor the prepared mind, but the opportunity to act on something is in your favor. But chance is chance. So don't get that confused.
I do not disagree with you at all. Like I said, this was a struggle bus for me on this particular reflection. I mean, I'm telling you this because I vividly remember it, because I was struggling with the same thing as well. I wrote down this note from this book, and I was like, I like the idea. This is a really good.
But the thing is,
But
it is not your word, because this
I
is in
agree.
quote. This is in
Yeah.
quote. Chance favor the prepared mind, and for you say, well, this quote sounds good to me, so I'm going to use it as a reflection. But I want to make sure that what this person say, right, is
Yeah,
not
aligns to what we're doing. Yeah,
technically correct, and it's not technically aligned with what we read so far. Because if I were to say, hey, yes, this is correct, then I'm basically contradicting what I told you earlier in
I agree.
the random chance and the blah blah and a bunch of other stuff. We basically discredit ourselves.
And a prepared mind is a prepared mind. They are not two things that go together. However,
Yes.
it gives us peace of mind to think that, if we
No, a prepared mind is still better than not. I'm not
right, exactly.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, hey, the two things doesn't go together, because you saying, hey, chance is something I can control. When you say if chance favors prepared mind, and basically is the black swan say you can't. A thousand day turkey, 1,001 day turkey. He's prepared. He knows exactly what to expect.
True. You were totally right. The guy that said this also, they had some studies they had done in the past about Ebola, and they got fucking lucky is what they got. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, they didn't do anything better or worse in this whole entire thing. They had some sort of a standard operating procedures they tried to deploy here, but like that wasn't why they contained this outbreak of Ebola on US soil. They contained it because, for whatever weird reason, this strain of Ebola was called Ebola restin. In the Ebola,
Virginia, right?
I think that
the thing is, with viruses, they always name the viruses with the location where it comes from.
Right. It's called.
So the thing is, COVID will be the Wuhan virus, because that's the technical name. I mean, they always name the viruses with the location where it was the outbreak.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably, yeah, I mean, you're I know you're right on that, but I'm trying to figure out if it was Reston, Virginia for somewhere else. Yeah, it was Western Virginia. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was in
Reston viruses is named after Western Virginia. See,
Right.
that's how they do it.
Yeah. Well, so the other two Ebola strains are Ebola Sudan and Ebola Zaire, and
they're different strands, because otherwise, if the same strand that came to Western Virginia, they would still call it Ebola Sudan.
yeah, exactly.
The one in Reston is different.
Exactly. But this is my point is like what I was getting at is they just got lucky that Ebola Reston was different than Ebola Sudan and Ebola Zaire.
It's just Mother Nature. And the other thing is, you have to understand that we have no idea how our body works, how our mind works, okay? This is Mother Nature putting it together. So it's not that we're smarter. The reason why we are able to surpass these viruses is, we are created by Mother Nature. Mother Nature also creates all these other mechanism. And the thing is, how, like, for example, we are able to wrestle with COVID. It's not because we're smart, we know what to do. We have no fucking idea what this COVID is. Everybody is fucking scared to death in the house, and the government is making up all kind of shit story about this and that. And the thing is, no one knows. I mean, the only thing we can do is, oh, it looks like this, let's try this. Oh, it doesn't work, let's try that. So we just try random things, and that's part of human nature. That's part of Mother Nature giving to us as human nature.
That was what I was writing about. Was I like
be able to adapt, because our nature is to adapt, to mold, to kind of like explore, to discover. So that's the thing is, we have no fucking idea how to deal with it. The only thing we do here, okay, let's throw a knife at it. Oh, it doesn't work. Let's shoot it. Oh, it doesn't work. Let's fire. Set fire on it. Oh, it doesn't work. Or maybe put a frog on it. Put a virus on it. Put a bacteria on it. And so that's what we as human nature is meant to do. That's part of our DNA. And to me, that ties back to what we do in company is, you gotta do what you're made to do.
That was what I said in this reflection. Honestly, it just, the thought that sparked it was the chance favors the prepared mind. I agree with you that thought isn't relevant, but that was what I wrote about. I was like,
chance favor the prepared Mother Nature.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Prepare for shit, dude. I'm sorry.
I agree. 1918.
Right? 1918, you have the Ebola, you have the COVID, which is trying a bunch of things that we know. Everybody's trying something, and eventually it works. And this is Mother Nature's design of how human nature should behave. Human nature behaves in a way that, hey, doesn't matter what it is, right? Let's discover, let's find out, let's study, let's look at it, let's dissect it, let's do discovery, let's do exploration. To me, that's what I'm saying before is, humans are made to explore, and the discovery, it gives us evoke the positive emotion in us to want to do more exploration. Humans are explorer by nature.
Right.
You do the same thing over and over again, you get bored, right? Only when you have something, hey, I found something new. Oh, this is great. True, this book is awesome, right? So we are always like emotionally evoked on a positive side when a new discovery is found. And we are explorer. We are explorer as an entity. Who we are is an explorer. We have to explore, and because we are explorer, that gives us versatility as well.
Diversity.
Versatility.
Diversity.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. That is. It's diverse.
This is a discussion for another day, but diversity and
I'm about
versatility.
I think I'm about to add diversity to my. I'm doing it right now. It's being done right now. It's in my.
Like I said, I'm saying is, for me, diversity.
It's in my under consideration. It is officially under consideration in my core values.
So my take on diversity is that a core value that it is constant. To me, when I say diversity is good, it's not the right value for me, because it's not constant. It has to be depending on the situation.
Constant change could be constant change.
Do not have a forced diversity.
Diversity could be constant change.
Constant change isn't for diversity.
You said it's not constant. I said it could be constant change.
You're just twisting. I mean, I think you're twisting it just to be competitive or to be
argumentative. No, not. Like, constant change is still a constant, but also change and diversity.
No, diversity is diversity in a good way, just like never quit. I mean, you and I in company, I want other people who have other values that we and I can learn from. If you have bad values, I don't want you in my company.
Right.
Diversity is not one-sided.
I don't know that there's ever anything that's a bad value. Like, is there a bad
No,
value? If somebody lives it, like,
there are values that are contradicting yours.
I'm okay with somebody contradicts my values. The spirit of company is, giving people a forum, an ecosystem to live their values, whatever that may be. So we want diverse values in the ecosystem. And if there's any overlap, we find those overlaps with other people, and then you can create meaningful work and meaningful relationship projects out of that overlap. But at the core,
the thing is,
people to do whatever they want to do.
It goes against my value. I cannot stand that person. It goes against my value.
What would be the value of beating up kids? And
I don't know. It's some value that they say, hey, I think we should beat up kids because you make them stronger or whatever. To me, it goes against my value. And the thing, if you think about bringing that person into the company, does that provide diversity?
You'd have to really explain to me what value you get out of beating up kids.
Well, maybe not beating up kids, but let's say, corporate greed, be selfish and be this like hoard all the money because they have benefit. For me, it's against my value. For me, it's say, hey, let's eat the frog. Against my value. Diversity. Diversity to me, like I say, it's a forced diversity because in that scenario, you are doing diversity for diversity's sake, or you taking diversity in spite of having something that conflicts with you. To me, that isn't the diversity I want. So diversity in that sense isn't something that I always want. It's not constant for me. For me, it's not constant. Like I'm talking about like balancing, right? It's constant for me. Integrity is constant. I cannot say, well, Chris, today I'm going to lie to you. And for whatever reason, I want to lie to you. Without a good reason, I would not lie to you. Because to me, it takes so much more energy for me to figure out a suitable lie and even tell you and then and taking the negative emotion. I get negative emotion when I lie to people, right? Maybe a shame or whatever. I wouldn't do that because for me, integrity, let's say my core value is integrity. It's always going to be the one I go after, right? I may get stray away from it for a bit, but still, if you recall that, it's going to be applied and I always come back and it still be the value that I can hold onto my anchor. So it's always constant, always there. Diversity, on the other hand, it's like sometimes depending on who holds it, right? It could be saying, I don't want it regardless of when, where, and why. And so to me, I can't take diversity because it's not constant for me. And you say constant change. Well, constant change isn't constant of change. It's of change value, not my value.
It's under consideration. I didn't say I just put it on a list. I got a lot of thinking to do about diversity, whether or not it moves up.
Well, I gotta give you may see some light and say, maybe he's right or maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
I can't argue at anything at this point in time because it was a light bulb moment of I'm intrigued yesterday when we were talking about it. And today we talked about it again. It made me go, I'm more intrigued a little bit. And now I want to go explore a little bit further. So it is officially under consideration.
Like I said yesterday, diversity for diversity's sake is a bad.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right?
Like organic diversity is good.
Diversity is good, but not by itself. Right? Because diversity has to be, okay? We are aligning on something. And then having diversity in that helps you. So diversity it's like a two-edged sword because it could be harmful if you take it just by itself. So diversity for diversity's sake is not a good thing.
Right. I have a lot of thinking to do on that one. That was just a random thought. So I'm not ready to be challenged on this one because that's the whole point of the writing every day, right? You write through this stuff and you figure out, yeah, that does make sense or that doesn't make sense. And to be fair, this reflection doesn't even make sense to me anymore. Even after we talked about it, it didn't feel like it made sense to me the first time when I wrote it. I mean, I might just say this one doesn't make sense. I'm going to put a disclaimer in the beginning of it and say
sometimes it doesn't. You look at things. Right. Sometimes you just come across a book that, hey, I have no idea what to do with it.
It actually wasn't so much the book that threw me off. It was all the other circumstances that were going on while I was trying to write on that particular day. I was just not at my best. My mind wasn't clicking. Normally when Amelia and I sit down to write and I'm writing a reflection or something like that, it's like
This is what I'm saying is new writing for writing's sake. It's like it comes out to what the hell am I writing about?
When you write for
it's
writing,
like you have a thought,
right?
and you write it down, not trying to force a thought out. This is
Right.
called diversity for diversity's sake, writing for writing's sake. It has to have the right order.
But sometimes you just got to put one foot in front of the other and go out there and run, whether you got your best stuff or you're not.
You have to understand that even if you say, "Hey, I want to sit down at my desk with pen and a paper," right? But that's the act of trying to get you to start the thinking. But the only way to write is when you have a thought. You cannot write without a thought first. So that's what I'm saying is there's certain thing that has dependencies.
Right.
Like a thought comes before writing. We cannot write and a thought will come.
Agreed. The thought that I got
diversity comes the same way. A diversity for diversity's sake isn't diversity because you are forcing it.
I can't disagree with that at all. Like the thought that I had on this one was the chance favors the prepared mind. It was an interesting sentiment, and I was trying to make it make sense in my head, and I couldn't. So therefore, it clearly doesn't make sense. So, like, I think that's what we just came up with today. Is like,
I think that should be the reflection.
I could. This is my journey. I can write, edit, post, and we'll say, P.S. After further consideration and discussion with True, we have collectively agreed that none of this reflection makes sense. Oh well, we tried.
That's a reflection.
Yeah.
This is the new reflection.
And publish pages. And it's done. Now it is officially altered and edited. First time, that was the first time in the history of the Your Magical Learning journey that a living reflection has been edited on the spot.
So we should call this the 202 reflection.
202.1. You had to call it.
No, because you know how you have 1,001 day turkey. This is 202. Yeah. 202.
If it doesn't make sense, don't publish it.
You can publish it, but I'm saying is this aligns with what we're saying is, when you have 200 straight good reflection that ties down to our core values and the way we live things and the way we head forward, right?
Right.
There's 202 that just throws out the window. So right, same thing with a 1,000-day turkey. Everything was dandy. And,
I get what you're saying.
And then 1,001 the 1,001 day comes and the turkey gets,
Oh well, on the positive side, tomorrow is Eat the Frog, which is, don't eat the frog, eat the cake. So
there is a book called Eat the Frog.
Yes. What do you mean? There's a book called? Do you think I just took that from nowhere? Like it was I
thought that was reflection somewhere.
No, there's like a fitness.
There's that book called Eat the Cake.
No, but we should write a book called Eat the Cake.
Eat the Frog.
Like, no, this is a book called Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy is the author. So like Eat the Frog was oh
jeez. I mean, sometimes some author that has very high reputations need to know when to stop.
I don't disagree with most of what he said in this book. It's just he wrapped it all up with Eat the Frog, and I'm like, no, eat the cake. Like, because I agree with everything you're saying. Just why would you want to eat the frog if you're going to? Anyway, we'll talk about this on Monday. But I mean, obviously, you and I have talked about this a lot, so it'll be a fun discussion. But the reason I was even showing this is I was like, we're back on the right track to starting on 203. So we had a miss at 202 and your 202-day turkey, and we'll be back to the normal grind on Monday.
Because if you think about it, a lot of people will be able to relate to Eat the Frog. You say, why would I eat the cake?
Yeah, eat the cake. They
don't understand it. We experiment with it. Because I think eating the frog and eating the cake, say, I want to eat the frog because it's gonna make me stronger. It's gonna
man. There is zero chance in hell that if you just abstractly walked up to somebody and said the words "eat the frog," they would. And what does that mean? You would go, I don't know. But if you walked up to somebody and said "eat the cake," what does that mean? They're like, I like cake. Like I guarantee you, like 10 to 1, somebody would. The first thing they would say is, "What do you think of when I say, hey, do you want to eat the cake?" And they would be like, I like cake and I would like to eat the cake. And you're going to be like, that's exactly right. And if I
don't think that's the same concept we have in mind.
It's the same concept. It's just make make what you do every day feel like you're eating a piece of cake, versus feeling like you're eating a frog.
Okay, we can talk about this tomorrow.
All right. All right. Fair enough. All right. No question for everybody because we've agreed it was not a good one. So when was the last time that you did something where you knew it wasn't perfect and still published it and shared it with the world? There you go.
I think I do that every day.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't either. Yeah.
The thing is, I don't care to be right. I don't care to be wrong, because what is right to me could be wrong for someone else. And what could be wrong for me could be right for someone else. So it's like, is it supposed to be like this or is it not? It's up to whoever wants to take it. Did they say something? Does that align with me? Oh, it does align with me. Okay, that's good. When another person comes, what they say is that align with, that's bad, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter. You think about it. It's so dynamic. And so at the end of the day, as long as you be yourself and whoever has the same common resources and common core value with you, we share the pond, beaver, the fish, the frog, right? It will go drink and go away, right? It doesn't stay and swim in the pond. It just don't stay. It say, hey, you guys being on there and you guys are messing up everything. You guys are useless. You guys are wrong.
Yeah, right.
Be like me, the wolf. You know what I'm saying? And then from other angle, say, hey, I'm the rabbit. Hey, you're wrong. Why are you picking on the little old man? You're just a bully. So from the wolf perspective, he's right. From the rabbit perspective, he's wrong. So who is right? Who's wrong?
Right. I brought a piece of styrofoam to the dam building party, and people were like, "Nope, we build with wood, man." And I'm like, "Huh, okay." You're right. Wood is better, So this was my styrofoam contribution to the dam. I tried. I thought, hey, maybe a new material, like maybe a new thing. Anyway, I'm with you. Officially signing off for the night. Thanks for joining, everyone, and we will see you on Monday.
All right, sounds good.